Okay, let's deepen our understanding of SketchUp by learning how to use the offset tool. And what the offset tool does is it allows you to offset geometry that's already on the shape, and it must have a closed face for it to work. And I can make both negative and positive offsets. So I've set up some examples here. I'm going to click on our mascot and delete, and let's look at the first shape here. So I can use the offset on a flat plane or on a three-dimensional plane. And there's a couple ways to use it. One is I can just grab the offset tool, and when I come over here and click, it's going to find that edge, and then I can click and drag inwards to make a negative offset, or click and drag outwards to make a positive offset. And I can just eyeball or enter in a numeric. Like if I wanted this to be 6 inches, I could type in 6 inches, and I'll make that 6 inches. If I click and drag outwards from there, I can make that 6 inches as well, right? And then if I double click again, it's gonna make a offset that is, it'll repeat that offset, the dimensions of the last thing I click. Okay, 6 inches, whatever the case may be. And then from there, I can pull these different shapes into three-dimensional space. So I can make positive and negative offsets. Okay, and let me step backwards here. And the other thing is that I can also select the edges like so. And when I offset, I'll have more control over the offset tool. I'll be able to choose where I start to create my offset, whereas before it was kind of willy-nilly. And I can also offset all the edges, or select some edges. So if I select this edge and this edge and then use the offset tool, I can get something like this. Okay, so those are some different ways to do that. Let's say that on this box, I want to create a door. So I click here and drag outwards like so. And then I want to offset that. So I've got my offset tool, and I select those edges by holding down the shift key, grab my offset tool and drag, and you'll see that only offsets the parts that I've selected, whereas otherwise, when I use the offset tool, I'm going to end up with some extra geometry here because of the fact that it's offsetting all 4 sides. But I can just erase that as well. Okay. So those are some different ways that I can use that offset tool. And if I select this face, I get this negative geometry, and I can also use that to offset edges and surfaces as well. And let's look at this one. If I grab my offset tool and click on this and start to drag it inwards, you'll see that I have this architecture here, and at a certain point it's going to overlap, and I can toggle the overlap by command or alt on the computer, which would allow me to overlap if it needs it. It would allow me to overlap. If I grab my offset tool, click and drag, and then tap the alt key, I can overlap that architecture if I want. Okay, so that's an examination of your offset tool. Okay, all right, thank you.